Um, I was actually my big dream was always acting. I was always like acting. I want to be an actor, and I went to UCT to study acting. I didn't get into the course that I wanted, so the course that I eventually ended up doing for a year was BA drama, which was mostly theory work. So basically sitting in a class, reading from a piece of paper, and I was like, like my heart is in performance, being on stage. Obviously, it's not that easy just walking into a theatre company saying, put me in a production. So I needed to find another way to get on stage, and I've always enjoyed comedy. Like, always when I used to do acting in school, I would always go for the comedic roles. And stand-up wasn't something I necessarily considered or thought I'd be good at, but I eventually started getting into comedy, and the more gigs I started doing, the more my passion for it developed, and now my passion for comedy is as big, if sometimes not bigger, than my passion for acting. I still try and balance the two, but I would say comedy is definitely sort of taken over my life. Definitely more people know me as a comedian than as an actor. The Comics Choice Awards is, the winners are voted for by the comics. So you as a comic go on the website and you vote for it. So just getting that sort of approval from the industry, comics don't necessarily come up to you after every gig and say, like, other comedians saying, like, I really like you, I just want to say I like your comedy. So I think winning a Comics Choice Awards is just like a very nice nod of approval from the industry that you're in, saying, we see what you're doing and we like what you're doing and keep doing it. Obviously our job is to make audiences laugh. But for me, it's also really important to have the respect of my peers. Yeah, it's like Robbie was saying earlier in the sort of panel discussion, was Trevor Noah's fans are sometimes people who aren't exposed to comedy in general, but come to his show. So it's, even when I was opening for him in 2015 at the Monte Cassino Theatre, the Teatro, over those 5 or 6 weeks, it's over 50,000 people that saw me perform that previously had no clue who I was. And that is amazing, just for getting your name out there and exposure to people who don't know you, who could potentially then come to a show when you eventually start doing one-mans. I always think that, Trevor definitely has a passion for growing young talent, especially in South Africa, which is awesome. I don't think all comedians necessarily give back in that way, because the way I always describe it is, I don't think Trevor Noah needs an opening act in terms of warming the audience up for him. When Trevor walks out on stage, people are instantly warm. they are just so excited to see him. So I don't think me being there for 10 minutes before, making people laugh, is really making his job easier, but yet he still always has an opening act, because he knows the effect that it can have on, like, a younger guy like my career. I hope that if I ever reach that level, that I would also give young guys that kind of exposure. That's, like, I think, how a great way of giving back to the industry when you reach that level. I'm not your traditional Afrikaans guy. Definitely lean more towards the alternative side. So I think a lot of people who aren't Afrikaans, when they hear Afrikaans guy, I think a lot of people have that sort of stereotype in their minds, two-tone khaki with a beard and like a boer, So what I really enjoy about being Afrikaans South Africa and doing comedy is, like, offering sort of alternative side to it. And speaking about the issues that are awkward, like ignorance that we often have as Afrikaans people, and obviously the dynamic with other races. I like speaking about it. I like, even if people do get a bit uncomfortable, going there, because I think comedians of color definitely do a fantastic job of, like, talking about the issues, talking about race. And I, as a white Afrikaans comedian, don't want to be any different. I also want to like discuss those issues and the things that make people uncomfortable often. Yeah, it starts tonight at the Pop-Up Theatre in Maboneng. Tonight's unfortunately the only night that has tickets left, tonight being Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are sold out. And then next week in Cape Town, there's still quite a few tickets left for people who want to see. I'm also recording my DVD next week in Cape Town at the Baxter. Show's called Jersey Boy, and then in Durban on the 28th of October. Tickets are selling nicely, so I would suggest buying soon for that. That's also available on CompuTicket. And yeah, it's a show that I'm really proud of. I think the show is better than my first one-man show, which I think it should be. Your show should always be improving. You know, it's a show I'm really proud of and I really want people to see, so I hope people come out. Skipani.com. You guys, this is my shout out. Ha!